Retard.
Happy members I party lol.
And good early morning to you all. Welcome to another episode of Wrong Side Simulations, bringing the best content for the wrong side of the airplane, the right seat. And as always, my name is Blake, and I am a real-world flight dispatcher aiming to bring you a little more context to your flight sim viewing experience. And today, I figured we'll do a continuation of the flight planning series that's been an ongoing series pretty much since the beginning of the channel. This was not a planned stream by any means. It took me a little, I fell asleep earlier and woke up, couldn't go back to sleep, and I happened to glance at the weather around the United States and noticed there's a lot of fog this morning. You know what? I don't think anybody's ever really talked about takeoff alternates and flight sim. So that's what we're going to do today. Before we kick anything off, as always, shout out to all of the channel members. It's Pilot Porter, Dustin, D-Champ, Callie Simmer, Ford Contour, Hillbilly Gypsy, Zach Hamilton, Bravo Charlie, Gavin, Chapman, Zolt, Skyfall, Wes, Jose, which I know is in the house. What's going on, Jose? Great to see you, dude. Andrew, Brett, Cabin Shack, Chase, Shadow Dark, Seth, David Isaac, Image Seeker, CST Gaming, Owls, Delta 1441, Brian Starks, Captain Geo, Blue Games, Lone Star Aviator, Plane, Nuts, Zach Winnick, Ron FX, Drew Stone, J Queen, Benji, Dancing Parrot, Marco, Shadow Number 2, Josh Leonardus, Brandon, AJJ, Cab Nate, Sean Rowe, Zato, which I know is in the chat as well. What's going on, Zato? Great to see you, man. Sim Freak, New Boy, C Gaming, FO Pilot Depth, Squiggly, Andy Ivy, Kieran, Kevo, VR Sim Pilot, Michael Messer, Flight Hungry, and G-Man Dukes. As always, thank you guys so much for the continued support. Y'all are fucking amazing. And if you are a member, please don't forget to join the channel Discord so that you can utilize your memberships. And over to the chat, Jose, great to see you. And Zato, happy 1 month to you as a jump seater. It's fucking awesome. Greatly appreciate you guys. Kind of going about this stream, doing it in the stream, but more so with the mindset that this is more than likely going to be kind of more of a replay type stint for most folks who want to know about takeoff alternates, that kind of stuff, because I kind of figured that nobody is going to be up at 3:30 in the morning for the most part to watch this, which is totally fine. Again, that's what God made the replay. So the first thing that we're going to need to do, we'll go ahead and jump into the cockpit. But we still need to plan our flight, and we're going to talk about the takeoff alternates and planning the flight. So we'll go through the overhead real quick and just kind of get everything pre-set up until the McDo, and then we'll go plan the flight. So up to the overhead, we've already got power on the airplane, as you can tell, and also have the ADIRs aligning. So from there, we're going to go cruise supply, ground control, CPR test, and down to the captain position. No smoke, come on. Emergency lights. And 17 degrees here, so we'll turn on just a little bit of AC. Going down the EFA side, we've got our flight directors on, constraints, VORs. Same on this side. Alright, coming down the center pedestal, GCS into auto, put the TCAS transponder into auto, and I like to do all instead of above or below. And that's pretty much going to do that. Last but not least, check our oxygen. That's good to go. Actually, not going to use. I need to get the latest checklist textured onto this tray, so we'll store that back where it goes. Also, I think the frame rates are not the best here in Charleston, so we might see some stutters. Marco, my man, what is going on, dude? Great to see you. Great to see you. Good morning from the East Coast of the United States. Alright, so let's talk about takeoff alternates and flight planning. So, these dots, just a quick little breakdown because we're going to use this a little bit, probably in Navigraph as well as Foreflight. But all of the pink dots are low IFR and the red dots are IFR. Little tidbit you'll need to know for what's coming up. So, over to sim brief. So this morning we're going to be operating Spirit Wings Flight 1025 Charleston over to Baltimore. I had originally planned a 0800 Zulu departure. That's not going to happen because I was having a lot of issues getting the McDo back going. So we're going to change that departure time if we can. There we go. Time is it now? It's 36. Let's put towards the top of the hour. Apply that. We're going to be flying the Phoenix A320. Cost index of, we'll bump that up to, I don't know, let's go 45. Everything else is in there. Eric nav data, which again, guys, just changed day before yesterday. So if you haven't changed your nav data, you want to make sure you go update that. And then everything else is how SimBrief put it in. So, first things first, let's look at the weather in Charleston. And right now it is low IFR with 200-foot ceilings and a quarter-mile visibility. So that begs the question, when do you need a takeoff alternate and why would you need a takeoff alternate? I'll turn that on so it can be a little more personable. So you would want a takeoff alternate. A takeoff alternate is required when current weather conditions or forecast weather conditions at your time of departure are lower than the minimums on the approaches to get back in. So if you were to take off, lose an engine, try to come back, if the weather's lower than your plate minimums, you wouldn't be able to get in, right? So you would need a takeoff alternate. Now in real life dispatch, kind of the rule of thumb for most airports, most flights is if you've got visibility down to a mile, just throw it on there because it's not going to cost you anything extra in the fuel, because 9.9995 times out of 10 your takeoff alternate is not going to be further than your destination. So now the criteria for a takeoff alternate, oh god, there's a regulation. I believe it's calculated based off of 1 hour in still air and normal fuel consumption. So for the 320, that's about 345 miles. 345 miles equates to roughly 60 minutes in still air at normal fuel consumption. So when selecting a takeoff alternate, not only do you just have to have one, but you have to have one within range. It cannot exceed 60 minutes. And then that 60 minutes is going to vary from aircraft to aircraft. So that's a big thing to pay attention to, is the distance that your alternate is at. So being that we've got quarter-mile visibility, and if we pull up the charts for Charleston, they're currently using ILS runway 15. So they have a standard Cat 1. They also have a Cat 2. Now, once you get down into these Cat 2s, Cat 3s, it's no longer statute miles, it's in RVR. And then there's also sometimes you can go lower than what's published on here. But for all intents and purposes, we'll say 1200 RVR. I do actually have a website for RVR. There we go. Reduce this down to mini charts. And with the custom view, do this, continue. And there's Charleston table. So right now the RVRs are not bad. At touchdown, we've got 2800 RVR, midpoint 2200 RVR, and then rollout 3000 RVR. The minimums are 1200 RVR. So technically it is above plate minimums. But like ain't no pilot gonna be willing to go without a takeoff alternate if the weather's this low at a quarter mile. If you go up to the standard Cat 1 ILS, now you're looking at half mile visibility or RVR 1800, and then 200 foot ceilings on the minimums. So we would want to add a takeoff alternate. So what do we do to go about determining what takeoff alternate to choose? There's a couple ways. There's probably more than a couple ways to do it. I mean, the main gist is going to be to look at TAFs, right? And also, when you're at an airline, you're dispatching at an airline, you know what your regular airports are, what airports are in your C70. C70 is your operation specifications, your approved airports for use. So you wouldn't just have like a gajillion dots everywhere. You'd likely just have your C70 pulled up. But again, the red dots are IFR, pink dots are low IFR, and then blue on Foreflight I believe is marginal. So obviously we want to find an alternate that's within 60 minutes and is not shit visibility. Sometimes on the East Coast of the United States that can be really hard. I've had times where dispatching flights, I did not have a legal takeoff alternate within 60 minutes of my origin. And in that event, have to delay the flight. Can you link the website for the RVR? Absolutely. Let me pull it back up. Actually, I think I still have it up. Let's see, go back. So I'll do this. There you go. And then you select which one you want. It's just the different boxes give you more airports to view. If you're a dispatcher on a day like today, you'd probably click the one that's got a bunch, and you would be monitoring a bunch of different airports at once. J Foot, what's going on, dude? This is an extra red eye. Yeah, man, this is early. Early. Alright, so we got all these pink ass dots. We want to stay away from those, obviously. Now, what I typically do is I just start kind of looking at airports that we fly to at my airline. So stuff that's close, typically going to be bigger airports, like we could look at Myrtle, but Myrtle Beach is usually prone to fog, as they are right now. They're sitting at 1.25 miles, mist broken at 200 feet, so not going there. Let's look at Charlotte. Where's Charlotte at? It's over here. Pull up Charlotte right now. Oof. Winds are calm, 7 statute miles. MIFG stands for shallow fog. So probably don't want to go there. If we look at the TAF, TAF doesn't look great. Well, it looks worse later in the day. Actually doesn't look too bad right now. But there is shallow fog reported in the METAR, which means obviously very prone to getting some fog. Let's take a look at Raleigh. Raleigh-Durham looks good right now. Winds are calm, 10 statute miles. Now the big thing to pay attention to, especially as dispatchers, we try to anticipate certain weather conditions before they happen, right? Because they're not always forecast. Sometimes you might have a good ass forecast, like let's see what they're calling for. This forecast is not good. 1 statute mile, mist, and patchy fog. is what they're calling for in the TAF. So one of the things that we look for as dispatchers to try to determine whether or not conditions are favorable for obscuration development, obscuration being mist, fog, stuff of that nature. We look at the temp and the dew point spread. So at Raleigh right now, temperature's 13 and the dew point's 11. That's a 2-point spread. Along with calm winds, very, very, very favorable to fog. Now if we go look at somewhere out west, that's dry, right? Let's look at Vegas. Look at this temp dew point spread. Temperature is 10, dew point -5. That's a 15-degree spread. It's not humid out west, right? It's fucking desert. On the East Coast, it's far more humid, not the desert. That's why it looks like most of the United States is fogged in right now. Even got fog down here in Florida. So typically, the rule of thumb, best rule of thumb, if you can, is you want to choose a takeoff alternate that's going in the direction of your destination. So the last thing you want to do is be flying towards your destination, lose an engine, and then have to turn around and go to your takeoff alternate somewhere fucking behind you. Don't always have that luxury, but that's kind of the rule of thumb. So we're going to keep kind of looking in this northeast direction. So let's see what else we got. Charlotte, let's take a look at Atlanta. Atlanta's not bad right now. Winds 130 at 4, 10 statute miles. Few at 4,200. On the TAF, the TAF does not look great. Low ceilings. Barely. Yeah, it'd be legal. 401 airport. That's alternate minimums, which is a whole other thing to get into on another episode when explaining a 1 nav aid, 2 nav aid rule to determine your alternate minimums. So for all intents and purposes, we're just going to say we need an airport that's 400-foot ceilings and 1 mile visibility. So we got Greensboro, 4 miles mist, patchy fog. Looking like we're not really going to be able to find much of anything that's not going to have some sort of fog forecasted in there. Now, let me show you something really cool that I discovered in SimBrief. So if you go all the way down to alternates, we can hit find, and it will find us a takeoff alternate. Now, there's also criteria that you can put in. So distance in nautical miles, I'm going to say 1 nautical mile. Ceilings, I want 400. Actually, no, that's not. The distance I want 345. That is, again, 4320. That is roughly 60 minutes in still air at normal fuel consumption. So visibility, I want 1 mile. And a minimum of 7,000 foot runway. Let's lower that to 6,500. Alright, we can hit find again. It's probably going to go with Charlotte again, and it does. Now, here's the cool thing, though. You notice this range ring around Charleston. That is the 345 nautical mile range ring. So anything within that range ring, we can use as a takeoff alternate. Also, if you look closely and you see all the dots, I have the same functionality on where it's going to display the airport, except this one's doing it based off the forecast, not the METAR. So we can kind of use this as a reference. Take a look. So Greensboro, no. Raleigh, no. Myrtle, no. I don't know if I trust Asheville. Got GSP, Columbia, Knoxville. Jacksonville, shit. And you got Orlando. Imagine doing that. Imagine taking off, losing an engine, and we're already heading northeast. And then we got to turn around and go southeast all the way to Orlando on one engine. Get the idea, right? I'm trying to stay going to the northeast. So, I don't really like any of these airports, but let's check out GSP. So we can type that into here, and then hit the little yep, kind of figured. Winds 210 at 3 knots, 6 statute miles, missed. So we've already got obscuration that exists. Temperature dew point is 1 degree. So I would anticipate that that's not going to get better. You got light winds, but anything 5 knots or less with a temp dew point spread that's really close is very conducted to obscuration development. Let's try Knoxville. And I hope this kind of gives you an idea of like the bullshit that dispatchers have to deal with in these scenarios when like the entire East Coast is fogged in. Knoxville's not great either. 4 statute miles, missed, few at 100 feet, and that is in the METAR. 1 point spread on the temp dew point, and then winds are calm. So that's not good either. That's definitely going to go to low IFR. Pensacola's outside. Savannah's shit. How about Augusta? Nope. So Augusta's TAF is good. That's why it's green. But their current METAR, winds calm, 3/4 mile visibility, missed, vertical viz 200 feet, temperature dew point 13. So that's a no-go. Daytona. Daytona's probably going to be relatively solid. 160 at 4, 6 statute miles, missed, scattered at 500. Not great. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. Our ace in the hole, either Daytona or Orlando. So we're going to list Charlotte. Yeah, we'll list Charlotte for now. And then right when we get short of the runway, we're going to check Charlotte's weather. If we don't like it, we'll change it to either Daytona or Orlando. And if it's still good, we'll go with that. Alright, so let's drop that in there. KCLT. Obviously we all know Charlotte's a big ass airport, right? They have at least standard Cat 1 ILS approaches, if not lower. So 400-foot ceilings, 1 statute mile visibility, and a TAF is what we'd be aiming for, assuming we got that. So we're going to take Charlotte. Alright, now the rest of the flight, let's look at Baltimore. Baltimore right now, and I purposely chose a low IFR or IFR airport because I want to, make a sexy low vis approach. So right now winds are calm, 2 statute miles, shallow fog, mist, scattered at 100, broke in 25,000, temperature 6 dew point 5. So again, 1 point spread on the temp dew point. Now temperature is 30 12. At the ETA, winds calm, 1/4 mile fog, vertical visibility of 200 feet. We'll be taking runway 10, which is a Cat 2, Cat 3 ILS. In real life dispatch, you would have to select that. That extends the landing distance that's required for that approach. But you can't do that in here. Right, so now we just need to talk about fuel. So let's look at weather radar. Make sure there's no weather along our route. Nope, everything's well. Ugh, that stuff was gross. Everything's to the west. Let's take a look at turbulence. Is there any turbulence anywhere? Guess not. Guess we'll call it smooth rides. Cool. Alright, so for extra gas, 400 on the taxi out, contingency fuel in case we need to hold if we go missed or anything. Oh, we shouldn't. We got auto land, all that, right? So 1/4 mile viz in an Airbus is not really that big of a deal. 20 minutes. Now obviously the weather's shit in Baltimore. We do require an alternate. So we'll need an alternate for Baltimore. Usually the go-to, the solid GOAT in these situations is Pittsburgh. So let's see what Pittsburgh's showing. It's not great, but not terrible either. 6 actual miles, overcast 700. Not a problem. We would need 401 at that airport, so Pittsburgh it's going to be. Cool. And then my company fuel of 10 minutes, basic extra. And that should be about it. Whenever I dispatch, takeoff alternates, I like to put a remark just to bring the captain's awareness to it. So we're going to say takeoff alternate Charlotte. If weather drops in Charlotte, we'll change to Daytona or MCO. Dispatch add fuel for possible hold, miss approach, and BWI, smooth rides, and no en route weather. Also, we would check the arrival rate. This early in the morning, the arrival rate would be pretty low. So, I'm going to go with that. Like the rest of this, just generate. What's the problem? It won't generate. There it goes. Alright. Hour 6 minutes. It wants me at 37,000 feet. Not going to do that. It's too high. Let's do like 33. Regenerate that. Cool. View PDF. I'm gonna send this to my PDF viewer. I thought more. There it is. All right, let's catch up in the chat real quick, and then we'll keep this thing going. The whole state of South Carolina is a humid mess, dude. It's same here, man. It's fucking foggy here. Well, not really here, but it is around here, and it's super humid and like hot, sticky. It's gross. This lesson is super useful. Well, that's what I love to hear, dude. That's why I love doing these. Actually, kind of share a little bit of my world with y'all. This is the practical part of aviation that I can't see. Can confirm the whole GSP is foggy and misty. I bet. I'm sure pilots like knowing someone thought this out. They're supposed to think it out. Sometimes it don't always get the most thought out, but you know, dispatchers try at a minimum. All right, so let's kind of cross-check everything on our OFP, right? So we are Spirit Flight 1025. Supposed to be out of here at 8:59. Probably not going to happen. On at 10:13 Zulu. Got J Queen again as our. What is it? I hate that, man. I hate that with the Apple Pen. Like you tap it and it changes shit. J Queen is our dispatcher. If we have any issues, we'll talk to him. He gave us some remarks. It says takeoff alternate of Charlotte. If weather drops in Charlotte, will change to Daytona or Orlando. Dispatch add fuel for possible holds, missed approach in Baltimore, smooth rides, no en route weather. Thank you, Jay. We appreciate the kind remarks. Very informative. Dispatchers don't always put the most specifics in their remarks. Sometimes they put like dispatch ad for possible deviations. Okay, thanks. You told me nothing. Alright, we're flying a total distance of 453 miles with a wind component, tailwind of 33 knots. Our fuel is very expensive here. $135 for every 1,000 pounds of gas. We're flying CI-45, Charleston, Baltimore, airport reference, we can cross-check that later. Flight level 330 with a temperature of minus 48. Triple pause is 39,600 feet. Our top of climb is at Sarky plus 18 nautical miles, or 0 fuel weights 130.3 with a max of 134.5, so we're good there. Takeoff weights 147.6 with a max of 148, so we're getting a little close, but not too bad. Landing weight 140.9 with a max of 142.2, so we're good there. Going to be departing off runway 15. This has us with a temperature 17, 30, 13, winds 190 at 5 with a 4-knot headwind, 3-knot crosswind, 1 plus F on the flaps, but you know we'll just do whatever the AFB gives us. We're going to be landing. Did it again? We're going to be landing runway 10. Coming on down. Very important that we check our fuel, so it's going to be 1 hour and 7 minutes from wheels up to wheels down, burning 6,600 pounds of gas. We got our 45-minute reserve. We got our alternate of Pittsburgh. We got our 20 minutes of dispatch add. Gives us a min takeoff, and I always like to change the color on this, of 16.3. Let's see, continuing on, we got our 10 minutes of basic extra. After we burn our taxi fuel, we'd be taking off with 17,300 pounds of gas, 400 on the taxi, and then our planned gate is 17.7. If we don't burn any extra gas at all, then we'll be landing in Baltimore with 10.6, 10.7 roughly. That's pretty much that. For our alternate, it is 211 miles away with a 42-minute en route time, 4.2 on the burn. Now what I'm not sure about is where, if anywhere, does it put the takeoff alternate? Because usually, at least with our format, it puts it with the destination alternate. But I don't see it anywhere. Our route for today is going to be this. We have our alternate of Pittsburgh, hour and 7 minutes to Baltimore. I don't know, have y'all ever like tried to decode an ATC strip? As if not, I can kind of help you with that. We got the call sign. Ooh, that's a highlighter. I want that. Call sign, aircraft type, the equipment codes. It's a bunch of different shit, to say the least. Your push time, call it the P time, our initial climb altitude, our route, obviously, destination, en route time, alternate, then much other nav shit. Got the registration. I wonder. I guess I don't have anything under the cell call in SimBrief. Otherwise, cell call should be in this as well. But like also the times that we're crossing into the different centers. Here we go. Takeoff alternate. Charlotte. I don't think I've ever seen that in a real strip. But the takeoff alternate definitely has to be listed somewhere. Wouldn't be legal if it's not. Got all of our weather here. Has to be somewhere on the OFP. Yeah, I don't see it anywhere. Very odd. Oh, here we go. Found it. Takeoff alternate Charlotte, 146 miles, 34 minutes, 4.6 on the burn. Now I don't know if this is one engine or two engine. That looks more like a 2-engine fuel burn, even though you'd be on one engine when you go there, but I digress. Alright. Brandon said it's foggy as fuck up here in New York too. Also, FYI, in the settings on the iPad you can turn off the double tap feature. Thank you. I will be looking into that 100%. Alright, well, let's prep the airplane. And I'm going to go mini charts. And we'll get this thing out of here. Alright, let's see. We'll do this. Reset that. Okay. Yeah, we're late. No biggie. Alright, so I'm going to be working on in my physical McDo. Got our shed here. You know what? I might even do this. Let's go. I want to copy this. I want to go to 2 cameras. Paste that. Bam. So now y'all can see like my hands down here and whatever. Marco, have you seen the news that Honeycomb is in very bad financial trouble? I briefly read over it. I kind of picked that up, but I did not feel like reading that whole fucking thing. I don't have anything on order with him, so I just like, if you're not telling me something's coming out soon, kind of don't care. But it does suck for them, because I know there's a lot of people that had the Charlie pedals on order, all that kind of stuff. I was looking forward to some of those glass avionics stuff that they were coming out with. Alright, so we're going to initialize the flight. That is initialized. Data. We have our GPS primary. So AC status, make sure our nav data is current, and it is. Back over to data, IRS monitor. We got 3 greens, good there. Over to I, all the nits. Waiting on that one. There we go. Charleston, Baltimore. We got Pittsburgh as the alternate. We are in KS 1025. Cost index of 45. Cruising altitude 330 with a temperature of minus 48. Ground temp here is 17. Triple pause 39.6. Flight plan Charleston departure. Alright, so let's take a look at some charts. So if you go into the charts, you'll also see one that says takeoff minimums, and this is to this kind of lays out what you need to legally take off. So you can see we got this little area here, takeoff. We are departing off runway 15, so we're going to look under this 15 category. So we need to use these 2 blocks. We need 2 operating RVRs to be operable, because they're not always operating. As we saw, we had them pulled up a while ago. All 3 are working. They touchdown, midpoint, rollout. So if we have centerline lights operable and high intensity runway lights operable, we need touchdown, midpoint, and rollout RVR of 500 feet. If those aren't working, we need either centerline or runway centerline markings, or centerline or runway centerline markings and high intensity runway lights. So if the centerline lights are out if we have runway centerline markings and high intensity runway lights, we can do 1000 RVR across the board, or if we just had centerline, we could do 1000. If you got both, you're good to do the 500. Now let's say that like all of those are out, right? Well, now we're looking at this adequate visual reference, and they categorize that as like you'd be able to see centerline markings, that kind of shit of the runway, but you also have an RVR of 1600 feet or quarter mile visibility. Now standard, so standard for 1 and 2 engine airplane is going to be RVR 5000 or 1 mile. Now airlines will have an exemption to this and will be approved for lower than standard takeoff minimums. So that puts us back into this area. So we never really should have to look at this because we're authorized, worst case scenario, for this. At least my airline. All big airlines are going to be like that. Alright, so assuming everything works, 500 RVR. And when we last looked at the RVRs, we're more than good on that. Alright, so let's go to our route. Alright, so we're going to be departing off runway 15 on the, whatever the fuck that word is. That to Philly. Insert that. Everything else, as we know, is auto-filled with sim brief, so we're going to go straight to the arrival. We're going to be on ILS runway 1, which is not a different procedure. Shouldn't be. Nope. Baltimore arrival ILS 10. We are on the Raven 6 thump transition. God damn it. 6. Why ain't it on there? I think some of the buttons ain't reading very good on this. They do. Alright, approach via. Take a look. Ain't got one. Cool. Insert that. Let's look for any discons. Now in real life too, you'd want to cross-check every single waypoint that's in the McDo with what is on the OFP. I'm not going to do that because it'll take longer. It's already 4:12 in the morning. Secondary for our engine out, we're just going to do runway heading. And assuming we could come back, we would. Or we can do this. Let's just say if the weather's too low, we're not coming back here. Let's do KCHS to KCLT. We are Spirit Wings 1025. Cost index 45. And we're just putting all the same shit in that we already had in a while ago. Says we would not be going up to 33,000 feet, but we'll put that in there as a placeholder. So 330 and then minus 48. Uh, 17 39.6. Secondary. So Charleston, we're saying we're going to depart off of runway 15. And we're not going to do a SID. And then secondary, Charlotte. We could look and see what they're actually landing and all that stuff, but we'll just pretend like they're landing on runway 18 center. No star, no view. We would just go direct to the initial approach fix. So secondary, bam, there we go. Alright, performance, in case we had to come back. or not come back, but we had to go to Charlotte. Weather right now, ugh, it's definitely got a fog in. Few at 000, like come on. Alright, so landing, we're looking at altimeter 3012. Temperature 13. Winds, calm. Say 200 on the radio, assuming it's a Cat 1, standard Cat 1 ILS. Alright, so that's going to be our engine fail. We would just go straight to Charlotte since we have low IFR here in Charleston. We will hard tune Charleston. The nits, wind out of uplink. Back over to a nits. We'll go to the init B page. And we should be finished with our boarding process so we can get that info from over here. Alright, so zero fuel weight is going to be 130.5 with a CG of 30.5. Let's compare that to our OFP. So OFP we got 130.3, so we're 200 pounds heavier. Not a big deal. So let's drop that in there. Block fuel on the OFP is 17.7. We've got 17.7. Alright, so 400 on the taxi. Zero out the route reserve. Alternate burn. This is destination alternate, not takeoff alternate. It's going to be 3.4. 45-minute reserve. Actually, I did that wrong. 4.2 on the alternate. And then reserve is 3.4. Sweet. Alright, so with that done, let's get our takeoff performance. Parting off runway 15. Let's call it wet because of all the obscuration. Optimal flaps, no toga, anti-ice off because it's 17 degrees. Packs will be on. Put all that shit. It's getting hot in this fucking computer room. Alright, 3013. We'll just say our initial climb is going to be. Actually, we have a SID. I keep thinking that like Charleston's so small we wouldn't have a SID. 4,000. Perfect. Yeah. Alright. I'm just going to type this in without looking, changing the view so we can do it faster. So it's going to be flaps 1/down 0.2. Flexing 59. 1050 on the engine out acceleration climb altitude, 1050 on the thrust reduction acceleration climb altitude, 130, 141, 144. There we go. Last step, I usually forget this one for engine fail. Put in typically, like an engine fail, if you're coming back to the airport, you would put in the runway you're taking off of. But since we're going to be going to Charlotte, we're going to put in Charlotte. There we go. Alright, so we have ran our diff strip flow. That is all set. Everything else is set. Let's get the APU going. And in the meantime, let's run a departure brief real quick. So it's going to be a right seat takeoff. Aircraft type is a 320 for tailstrike avoidance. We have no MELs, no CDLs. It's going to be a 2-engine taxi. We're going to be taxiing, Jesus Christ, all the way over to runway 15. That's a far as fuck taxi. Oh well, 2-engine taxi. We'll push out nose right. We'll take Alpha down to hotspot 1. We'll cross all this nasty shit all the way down to 2-1, hotspot 2. Take Echo, cross, and then Delta to 1-5. Good God. Damn, so we gotta go to the 10-9A. Alright, hotspot 1, taxiway Alpha and Foxtrot, runway 1533, confusing intersection. Thanks. Hotspot 2, maintain vigilance when crossing runway 21 to taxiway Alpha or Alpha 1 from taxiway Echo. Roger that. Alright, so obviously weather is a factor. That's going to be the biggest threat. We'll talk about abort procedures and if we have issues on the takeoff here in a second. So weather's a factor, terrain's not a factor. We got plenty of runways and hot spots to cross, so we just briefed those. For our abort procedures, low speed regime below 80 knots. It's going to be my decision to reject. Complete stop, set the parking brake, call flight center stations, analyze situation, call for any income actions, emergency evacuation checklist as required. I'll also be on the radios and let everybody know that we're stopping on the runway. We'll assess the situation, and if we need to evacuate on the runway, we will, and I'll call that out. And if we can egress, I'll also call that out. We're not on bad sim though, I'm just saying shit. Above 80 knots before V1 in the high speed regime, we'll abort for engine fire, engine fail, low wind shear, anything that makes us feel like the aircraft is unsafe for takeoff. After V1, we're going to fly and we'll speed up, clean up. Weather here in Charleston is dog shit. Info Tango's current, winds 210 at 4 knots, quarter mile viz, vertical viz 200. Temperature 17, dew point 16, altimeter 3013. So if we lose an engine or anything, we're just going to go straight to Charlotte, assuming the weather holds up. It's looking sketch over there. If all goes as planned, we're going to fly the Fix, whatever the fuck that's called. 3 departure with a top altitude of 4,000 feet, and we're squawking 2,000. Any questions, throw it in the chat. Other than that, cockpit prep, checklist, maintenance log tails, onboard checked, gear pins, covers removed, seatbelt signs, let's get those on. ADIRs are nav, fuel, we need 17.7, we got 17.7 on board, altimeters 3013 and EFB is checked. Alright, let's get out of here. I'll get back to the chat here in just a sec. Ground services.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
AFC menu, receive messages. Home sheet, accept. And theoretically, we could come back to Charlotte because they got a Cat 2. We could shoot them. 30.5.
Retard.
Oh, yeah.
Retard. Bypass pin inserted.
Shit, I just saw a message. 29.5 on the Mac toe.
Retard.
Oh man. Josh is at it again. Unbelievable.
Locking gear.
You woke me up, that's for sure. Josh, dude, thank you so much, man. That is super fucking kind of you. Super, super kind of you. Thank you so much for the support. That puts us over 60 memberships, and probably half of those are because of you gifting. That's
Retard.
that is nuts.
Retard.
Let me jump in here real quick and say hello to everybody real fast. Been missing a lot apparently. Securing financing seems to be like choosing which fox you'd like to let in your penthouse. I agree with that. Oh, Jet Kid, what's going on, dude? What in the name of early mornings is going on? Man, I'm telling you, dude. So I went to bed earlier at like normal time. Fell asleep, slept for a little bit, and then woke up. Couldn't go back to sleep. And I looked at the weather, saw like half of the United States was foggy. And you know what? Nobody ever talks about takeoff alternates in flight simulators. So let's go do a surprise stream. So here we are. No shit. Am I in time or too late? You're definitely in time. Although if you want to see the whole breakdown on takeoff alternates, you'll have to go play that back. Got off work early, very nice, and saw that Blake was live, dude. And that's what's crazy was I was live when you were going to work. Hey Blake, have you seen the Bluebird? Yep. In fact, I fell asleep to that. I was watching that, and right at the very end, I passed out.
Commencing push.
Oh wait, I forgot to do
All
before start.
engines clear.
Before start checklist, window doors and slides. Closed and armed. Beacons on. Twist levers idle. Parking brakes on or off. Transponder is in auto. 4-star completes. He's in the zone. It's late. I do get in the zone. Yep, I flew to Boston Ops night today. 154 arrivals. Jesus, that's crazy. Start the timer. We got more than 25%. You know that they don't. It doesn't seem like they simulate bleed air. So you always have more than 25 psi. Rolling one. Let's do the legs on that one, and let's do takeoff perf on that one. The taxi is longer than the flight, dude. It probably is. Taxi by the military aircraft is more fun. I could do that. We can do that. So let's rebrief our taxi real quick. We're gonna taxi out. We'll go all the way over to Bravo, Charlie, cross 3 at Delta, and then take Delta all the way down by the military aircraft. Yeah, it's definitely a lot less complicated. I don't know if it's shorter, but it's complicated. And we pass military aircraft, so we'll do that. Brake set, clear off the headset, clear disconnect, look for the pin on the left. Y'all have a good morning. See you on the next one. Crackhead speed again. I love it. So guys, for anybody who received a membership, please thank Josh. That is unbelievably kind of him. Super, super nice. Josh, thank you again, man. That is just fucking awesome.
Unlocking gear.
Retard.
J-Foot. So now I'm gonna get confused. I'm like, which ones are gifted and which ones are not?
Tow truck disconnected.
But
Bypass pin removed.
dude, J-Foot, man, that's fucking awesome of you, dude. Thank you so much.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Y'all leaving me speechless. Speechless. It's funny you say that. You fell asleep during the Bluebird Sim update because I dozed off in the last 5 minutes of the update. Yeah, it was a rough one. All right, so we'll change our shit up now. Instead of 2-engine, let's single engine taxi because it'll be a pretty easy one. We can hang on to some fuel, even though we're not really hurting on the gas. So let's do after start flow. What does that say? Down 0.2. TA. Like I said, the frame rates are rough here in Charleston. Leave the APU on. Don't like come off. Let's see. After start checklist, anti-ice is off. Yellow pump is on. Rotor trim 0. After start checklist is complete. Holy shit. You know it's foggy out. Let's try this instead. Alright, brake check. Pressure 0. So, do y'all want to leave the EFB up? Or is it covering too much shit? I'd imagine it's probably covering too much shit, right? Yeah, I can make it smaller. So let's get rid of, actually I want that for now. And then let me get on a straightaway and then I'll make it smaller. It's foggy, no joke. How about that? Because I think y'all can always see it a lot better than I do. Like, from here on OBS, that looks fucking tiny, but I'm sure for y'all, it's not too bad. I'm at the cross runway 3. And then we go on the straightaway-ish, start engine number 2. When we get airborne, I got a poll that I want to run by y'all, see what y'all think on something. Pilot Red Eye. Flying a red eye, man. Perfect guy to be in the chat right now. Alright, let's fire up number 2. Kill the yellow electric pump. And roll number 2. I'm gonna stop flying in this airport. In all honesty, I don't even like those floodlights. I just like these. Ah, you know what? It would fucking help if I put engine mode selector to ignition. More than 25. Rolling number 2. Still on? Exactly. I'm okay to wait a bit more for a high quality one, but another year is a bit too much, in your opinion. And that's you're talking about for the 7.5. Toasted. Good morning, my friend. Hi to you as well. Hello from a nice early 4:30 in the morning on the East Coast of the United States. Want to wish you a good flight, broski. Dude, I greatly appreciate it, man. Hopefully it's good. We're going to be flying into some really low visibility, so it should be a lot of fun. I don't know how to get some of these smaller developers to work financially, but the Bluebird guys the group still seems crazy that a 40-year-old plane is still not available though. Yeah. Agreed. Alright, engine mode selected there. Reset that. It's good to go. Pew. Perfect. Alright. App start checklist. NIS is off. Yellow trump is off. Red trim 0. App start checklist is complete. Alright. Mini brief, we're departing off runway 15, gross weight's 147.8, flap config is 1 plus F, fuel 17.3, V1's 130, V2's 144, top altitude's 4,000 feet, 4,000's blue, and our first fix is angry on the, however you pronounce this departure. Flight controls check, full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder. Full left, full right, neutral. Flight controls check is complete. Radar temperatures on. TCAS auto. TARA. Auto brakes max. Status page check in as normal. TO config and we'll ding flight attendants. Alright, tax checklist. Gross weight comparisons complete. Pitch trim is 29.5% and CG is set. B1 VRB 2 and flex is going to be 130, 141, 144, flex 59. Flaps config 1 plus F. Flight controls are checked. ECMO takeoff all green. ECM status is checked. Temperatures on auto. TCAS code set. TRA cabin crews advised. Mini brief is complete. Taxi checklist is complete. Alright, let's check on Charlotte's weather again. Airport weather. Alright, looks like it has not changed. They are landing 18 center, so we've got that set up correctly. Still 7 miles, shallow fog, few at 0. Good times. Lineup checklist, takeoff runway 15. It is confirmed outside and inside. Fuel, min required takeoff fuel is 16.3. We got 17.2 on board. Engine mode selector is normal. Bleed packs are set. We are ready to go. Alright guys, let's do the damn thing. Let's get all those lights on. Is it fucking back taxi? Oh, I didn't go all the way down. Damn, I'm a dumbass. Alright, we'll back taxi. Close enough, let's go. I think sometimes they underestimate the effort to create proper airline. Yeah, especially like with all the schematics and stuff they got to figure out. It's funny how the night delay between the chat and you reading is so much less. No, it was way worse earlier, whenever I was not paying attention at all. Oh hey, it's my friend Toasted, because I'm toasted as fuck. There you go. Very nice, very nice. Toasted puts a period in there. Thought you said you had a poll that need to be up. Yeah, I'm gonna put one up as soon as I get airborne. Crystal wouldn't be happy. Oh, in the DA. Ah, gotcha. Alright, boys and girls. Let's do the damn thing. Running up 50. Man, flex. That's restroom way on thrust blue. Thrust set. And rotating. Right here. Nav. Now look for a positive trend on the airspeed. Thrust climb. Flap 0, speed checks, flap 0, after takeoff checklist. Landing gears up, flaps retracted, bleed packs are set. And the APU is off. After takeoff checklist is complete. Three for 4. Speed alt star. Let's get the climb going. Let's get up to our final at 33. First climb, climb. And 33 is blue. Always do that. Alright, autopilot 2. Alright guys, we on the way. Thought you said you had a pole that needed to be up in the house, that is. Crystal wouldn't be happy with that. That's funny, dude. I couldn't pay her to shake her ass like a stripper. I mean, she'd have to be really drunk. But I wouldn't be able to pay her. There comes 10,000. Can't see shit. There you go. It's my seat in the house. And I like to play with my radio panel. So like if I were in the jump seat, I'd have that on, interphone on, and the PA. I'd sit my ass right here. Let's go. Get it good. Let me tell y'all what, it is fucking hot in this computer room. Fucking hot. Let's see. Yo, half message streaming ass. Gotta go back and read it again. Oh yeah. No, I got what you were saying. I was trying to taxi while reading. You know how hard that is? It's so fucking hard. Pilot Red Eye said, have a good flight, man. I'm gonna go snooze. I want to thank you for subscribing to me the other day. It means a lot. And that stupid stone duck. Take it easy and butter landings to you. Dude, I appreciate it. I have not been buttering shit lately. But yeah, man. Absolutely appreciate it. And by the way, I can see why you were working on that video for 3 months. I started watching it. And then Crystal called me and told me to do something. And I haven't finished it yet. But I am watching it. That video seems like an editing nightmare with all the different shit you got cut into that video. But very entertaining. Very entertaining. So I'm gonna finish that for sure. But dude, I appreciate you stopping by, man, and I'll see you on the next one. Everything said, do you full flap during takeoff? Nope. Nope. For takeoff in the Airbus, typically it's going to be flaps 1 plus F or flaps 2. Sometimes, very limited amount of times, but sometimes you'll take off flaps 3. Never ever full. When you land, typically flaps full, sometimes flaps 3. If you ever land flaps 3, you want to make sure you have this little button clicked for the GeForce, so that the airplane knows that you're planning to land with flaps 3 and it won't scream at you. So takeoff is going to be usually flaps 1 plus F or 2, sometimes rare cases 3, but never flaps full. And then takeoff is going to, or landing is going to be usually flaps full, sometimes flaps 3. Seatbelt sign on, or sign off. It's too long. I disagree. I love watching it. And guys, y'all should go check out Pilot Red Eye's channel. He just posted a video a couple days ago that y'all should go check out. Very entertaining. Very, very entertaining. And very educational as well. There's a few things that I was watching. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know that. night, Pilot Eye. Have a good one, dude. Sleep well. See, everything said. What's the best speed for landing in a 320? On average, about 140 knots. But what you would do is, and I'll tell you what, since you're asking these questions, I'm going to go ahead and set up the airplane for arrival so that you can see kind of how the airplane will figure out the landing speed itself. So for the quick and easy for you, alright, so here's what you'd want to do, okay? This is the quick and easy, and then I'm going to run back through it in like the real way of doing it, alright? And as a side note, I have, so I believe that you are new to the channel, so I've got this full Airbus throttle, and then to the right of it, you can't really see it, but I have this thing, I have that next to my leg, so I'm going to be typing this, and you'll see it over here, okay? I'll tell you what, I'm going to do one better. Bring this over here so you can really see the charts. So the first thing you want to do when you're figuring out, oh man, did the weather get better in Baltimore? Damn, it did. Now it's shallow fog, 7 miles. So the first thing you want to do is you want to pull up the weather for your destination, okay? Once you have your weather pulled up in the McDo, you're going to want to go to the perf page. So we'll go to perf, which we're already on it, and then I'm going to hit next phase until I get to the approach. You can tell it's the approach, just says it right here. You got all these blank spaces, we're going to fill these in, okay? So right now, the current winds in Baltimore is 0, 0, 0, 0. We'll try to do other thing. There we go. This is how I draw. Alright, so our weather is right here. Okay. Here's our wind. Then we're going to need our temperature right there, and then the altimeter. Alright, so we got all these zeros, so that's calm winds. So over here, wait, is that? Oh man, that red's not showing, is it? Alright, there we go. Oh, yeah, I can see that. So that's the weather for Baltimore. Winds are calm. So looking back over here on this side, we're going to go 0/0 for calm winds. Then we want to tell it what the temperature is. So the temperature is this box here. Temperature is 6 degrees. So we're going to put 0.6 over here in the temperature. And then the altimeter is 3012, so we're going to drop that in over here in the Q&H box, 3012. Alright, we'll drop that in. Now, what we'll need to do is look and see what our minimums are for the approach that we intend to shoot. So we're going to be landing on the ILS runway 10, Cat 2, Cat 3. And to find your minimums, well, this is kind of a different type of, it's not a standard Cat 1 approach, so it's a little different. If we're going to shoot a Cat 2, our minimums is that right there, and we would put that in the radio. If we're going to shoot a Cat 3, which is an even lower procedure, we're just going to go down to 600 RVR and a 50-foot decision height, unless we intend on auto landing. And if we intend on auto landing, we'll just put no in the radio. So I'll tell you what, let's do that for shits and giggles. For now, we'll plan on an auto land in case the fog drops. So RVR, wow, that was terrible. Runway visual range 600 feet. It's going to be our minimums. So we'll have to pull up the RVRs here in a sec. But we're going to put no in the minimums. So type no in the scratch pad. And then we'll put it in radio. And there we go. Alright. So I say all that to show you this. Once you put all that stuff in there, it calculates your landing speed. So for this approach, landing speed is going to be 138 knots. Alright. Now this changes based off of how heavy your airplane is, and the environmentals, which is all this data that we put in, all the weather conditions at your destination. So that's how you would figure out what your landing speed should be. Now, real quick, while we're already doing all this, let's do our top hat flow, and that will set up the airplane for arrival in the McDo. So the top hat is flight plan, radnav, prog, perf, fuel prediction, secondary. Alright, so it's bump, 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 and it draws a little top hat. Okay. So flight plan, Philly. And I'm gonna put a 5-mile range ring around Baltimore, runway 15 for situational awareness. Oh wait, no, 1510. Okay. 5-mile radius there. Now I'm going to pull up my charts. I want the last approach fix, which is jeans. So I'm going to drop that in. And then off of jeans, I want to throw in the opposite heading, which is going to be room 285. Drop that into radial, and that's going to give us our extended center line. Very useful in case we need to go around. Radnav, we're going to clear out Charleston, and we're going to put in Baltimore. That was a BAL, right? It's Baltimore. Stop. Okay. Prague page. Now we're going to get rid of Charlotte, since we're almost a cruise, and we're going to put in Baltimore. 10. We're currently 306.8.5 nautical miles from the threshold of the runway. We've already set up the performance, but we'll run through this again before we land. Fuel prediction page. We got 2.5, 2,500 pounds of extra gas, comes out to 34 minutes of extra fuel. And last but not least is going to be the secondary. We can delete the secondary, and don't anticipate changing runways or anything, so we'll just leave that out. And there we go. So that is setting up the McDo for the arrival. Now if we tab through plan, go to flight plan, we tap through, we'll see this change. Make sure that everything links up. And then as we get towards Baltimore, you'll see that extended center line and the range ring that we put around the airport. There we go. So this will be our downwind portion, and then from there, from Hun, we'll fly parallel to column until we're parallel to column itself, and then probably go direct or vector ourselves in. There's column there, so we'll just keep on going down and then join the final. Sound good? Good. And it's an ILS approach, so we're going to arm those up. Go auto brake low. Just staying ahead of the airplane. Look at all these pink airports around us. We got a bunch of green too, though. Just little ass airports. Visibility went up another mile. 8 statute miles, shallow fog, few at 200. Still got some low IFR up there. Damn, even Atlantic City has VFR? Yeah, man, they're usually IFR like crazy. Oh man, big ass thanks for that. And Joshua, what about the McDo? You said the McDo. Supposed to land at 10:49. It is currently, okay, so we're 48 minutes out. Not bad. Reaching our cruising altitude. Weather change. Some PS, whatever shit's called. PSXT. Sometimes it seems like it takes a hot minute to generate the data. Love it. I'm glad to see so much progress for SimToys compared to the way it used to be. Dude, 100%, 120%. Totally agree. And I hope that that kind of stuff just continues to blow up. That companies, even if it's not like, you know, a 1-for-1 or close 1-for-1 to a particular airplane, that if it's like the TCA Boeing yoke, or the TCA side stick, like those products, I hope those never stop. And I keep replicating, you know, popular airplanes and stuff like that. Like, how dope would it be if we had like a TCA Boeing 757 yoke? Fucking cool, if you ask me. Or like, I know they already I know Yoko makes one already, but like the Cirrus side stick, that'd be really cool, but like affordable. I think really, theoretically, you could probably, if you had like a Honeycomb Alpha, you could get the yoke off and put some sort of a side stick on that. Just put it on that little bar that goes in and out. Man, you got your Cirrus side stick. That's how Yoko does it. They just put a side stick with on the shaft that goes into the box. Oh yeah, so the poll I was going to ask. This might be, it's probably better for like a community post. I think I'll do a community post instead. Or I can do both. There you go. I've been kind of experimenting with different camera angles, to say the least. I wonder if you can see the camera. Yeah, you can barely see the camera right there, the one that looks at the throttle. Is Atlanta getting pounded right now? Not quite. Just some rain showers. But Mississippi's getting tore up. This airport's reporting 1.5 mile viz, light rain, broken at 500. It's on the back end of that stuff. See if we can refresh the radar. Meridian's about to get popped. But instead, let's do this. Nashville, let's see. We got a whole bunch of cameras around Nashville too. Oh yeah, it's moving in on Nashville. Let's go radar. There we go. So it's really not as bad as the other app made it look. But with this app, we got lots of cameras. It's like Hattiesburg right now. Looks wet and foggy. So I guess while we fuck around with this, we can. Blow these up big where you can see it. Outside Hattiesburg. Just a little light rain. Jackson, Mississippi. Probably light to moderate rain. And you can, if you look at those lights down there, you can tell that it's precip's a little bit harder than what the camera makes it look like. There's some really pretty cameras on this thing during the daytime. It's windy there. North Texas. There's Houston. Some of them are not much to see. Some of them are like real pretty. Let's look towards Nashville. Murfreesboro. A little early morning obscuration. That one ain't got a camera going. Columbia. Looks like that weather's probably off to the left. The clouds are lower that way. Why you can see the stars at the top of the screen. Very faint. This is Radar Omega. And I believe it's $8 to purchase the app. And it'll come with like all the basic stuff, including the cameras. And then if you like want to get real balls deep in weather shit, they have different subscriptions. I do the $12 a month, but it's a lot of like really in-depth weather stuff that you probably wouldn't care about. Most people wouldn't care about it. This camera is very pretty during the daytime. Oh well, you can't really see it all because looks like there's a fucking fog bank a little ways out in front of the camera. Some mountain obscuration, but these are rolling mountains in North Georgia. Gives you all your weather information, temperature, humidity, dew point, all that good stuff. Wind direction, speed. Another really pretty one is up here, although you probably won't be able to see shit because of this precip. But it's Mount Shasta. You can kind of see that mountain a little bit off into the distance in the center of the screen. Captain Shark. It's 0200 in San Diego. Yep. And it is 5:10 a.m. here in Orlando, Florida. It's what you call a red eye. Actually, we're kind of in the territory of just a normal early morning scheduled departure time. Although we started the stream at like 3:30 something. So this is a lake and it's frozen. Obviously it's 27.8 degrees. And it looks like they were doing something on it. 'Cause yesterday they didn't have these little barriers. Or whatever these little ribbons are. So it might be like... I wouldn't guess they're ice skating. Because it doesn't look smooth. But that's a frozen ass lake. Kalamazoo, Wisconsin. Foggy. Still got snow on the ground. Yes, there is actually. I think there's one close to you. In fact, I noticed it last night how close it was to you. So yeah. So Sioux Falls, right? Spirit Lake. That's the one that's close to you. The one we were just looking at with the frozen ass lake. This is in Iowa. Just on the edge. But yeah, you got the frozen lake camera. Kansas. I think this one's on a farm, if I remember. 31.4 degrees. I wonder if that is snow or rain. We can tell if we go to winter weather. And that is snow. Just barely on the north end of that system. Got some snow. Got a camera down here in Lafayette, Louisiana. It's wet. Rainy. All the cages down there. Spirit Lake, you've been there? Haha. That's pretty cool. Well, in the summertime, you'll have to like go in front of the camera and wave. How far is that from you? It doesn't look very far, but you know, sometimes you look at something on a map and it's a lot further than it looks. Oh, this one's cool. Shaq would love this one. Charlotte. And it's the Panthers in their actual stadium. Which is pretty cool. And Charlotte's visibility looks pretty good right now. This is a good app, like if you like to watch tornadoes on radar and stuff like that, this is really good for that. There's a whole bunch of cameras in Tennessee. Foggy. Some of the cameras are like these little towns in these rolling hills of Tennessee or mountains. Maybe now? Okay. That's not very far. Jokes for days about people from Iowa. I could imagine. Let's see. Cap Shark said, and Cap Shark, how's it going, dude? Great to see you, man. Finally got the Phoenix A320 the other day. Flying the shit out of it since setting up my TCA side stick and throttle. Also have the mini FCU set up. I'm jealous. I got mine on order. It has not, it won't ship for like another 2 months. Had to relearn Airbus systems, all good though. Got over 10 hours on it in a few days. Hell yeah! So I'm talking about, man. If you ever got any questions on the old bus, throw them my way. Or you could ask V1, but whichever. Josh says I like to watch tornadoes in person. Dude, that's one reason why I would never live in your neck of the woods, because I bet y'all got a fuck ton of them. And like, now that I live in Florida, because we don't get weather systems like y'all do. We get, you know, we have a tropical climate, so we just get like, you know, isolated, scattered thunderstorms that are hardly ever a supercell. Sometimes supercell, sometimes they have some tornadic rotation. Not a lot, right? Y'all be getting these fucking squall lines with all sorts of tornadoes and shit. And so now, like when I go home to Louisiana, like I almost will not go to Louisiana in the springtime because the weather is just so fucking bad all the fucking time. Yeah, we get water spouts, but dude, those things are like fucking EF 0.3. You know, like it'll throw your tent around. That's gonna be like the worst of it. Speaking of water spouts, there's been twice that I've had a water spout, or I had a tornado that started as a water spout move like within a mile of my location. I was in Gulf Shores, Alabama last year, so I was like right here at what they call the T, Highway 59, and I was in one of the condos, and a tornado, or a whatever you call it, fucking water spout, started out here, and they had the warning, like the tornado warning, going that way, but its rotation was not going that way. It was like going this way, and I'm right here. And so then they rewarned it again, and they again, like, they rewarn that shit. It's like, it's down here now. They're still giving it fucking warning, going due east. And then finally, they rewarned it, and it was like, by the time it was about down here, they rewarned it like that. And I'm just sitting right there. It got to, it started kind of moving off this direction, and it got to about right here, and it banded out. And I have video of it, so I can show y'all. Water spouts and hurricanes. Yeah, obviously hurricanes can be bad. But I don't know. I feel like I'd take a hurricane over a tornado, but I don't know. Tornado's like absolute worst case scenario. You get a 2-mile wide path that might go a long way. If you're just one of those unlucky motherfuckers to be in the path, like much smaller chances of being hit by it versus a fucking hurricane. So I don't know, like, hurricanes are can be bad most of the time. At least here in Orlando, they're not that bad. Let's go to Google Photos. Oh wow, we're a lot closer than I thought we were going to be. Bottom altitude. Bottom altitude at Hun. 4,000. Find this shit. Right after Expo. My girlfriend passed out drunk as fuck. I'm shooting tequila shots all day on the beach. Me, her, my mom. She couldn't hang. And that was seafood. Yeah, there you go. There's the patron. Here we go. Tell you what, let me get this airplane coming down. Alright. So, this is that app that we were just looking at. This is going to be a little loop. So on the left we got the velocity, wind velocity. On the right side we got the radar reflectivity. As you can see, we got the area of inflow right here with the hook echo starting to form. And then over here you'll see like the actual rotation. So this ship like got just north of where I was at. Like it was fucking beeline for me. I looked at my mom and my girlfriend. I was like, y'all want to run or y'all want to hunker down? We ain't really got nowhere to hunker down in this bitch. But this was the shelf cloud. Everybody was getting tornado warnings on their phones. So everybody was coming out on the balcony looking for a tornado. I kept telling them, like, look guys, it's a fucking rain wrapped tornado. You're not going to see it. You won't know it's here until it's on top of us. So there you go. They finally rewarned this shit. The other cool thing with this Radar Omega app is when storm chasers are chasing tornadoes, they broadcast live on this app. So we were watching, in fact, you can see down here, this was his live stream. We were watching him as he's right up the road from us. This is Vince Walty. He's a very renowned storm chaser. It's pretty cool. Yeah, you can see that shelf cloud and that kind of eerie turquoise color from the light refracting off the hail in the atmosphere. And it was coming right at us. And I was low-key a little scared. But yeah. If y'all never been to Gulf Shores, Alabama, other than almost getting hit by tornadoes, y'all should go. Very, very pretty. A little bit cheaper than Florida. People are super nice. Folks on the beach, it's like tailgating for a college football game. Everybody's like drinking and playing. I think I was trying to video lightning. There was sails like all over the fucking place. Malmatus clouds. A lot of down drafts in those cloud formations. Sky's on fire. We're watching LSU baseball. LSU won the national championship. Go Tigers. But you can kind of see that Malmatus was little. Whoop, whoop. Eating a whole bunch of oysters. Crystal taking fucking pictures. I know she's on Instagram. It's a great place to go. And I don't know why, but I love condos at night on the beach. That was a terrible picture. That's my old lady right there. CrossFitter, so you know she got some muscles. She thinks she can whoop my ass, but she can't. One of the so I rode on this airplane. I delivered this one from Mobile till number 983. Brought that in, and after dropping that off, I was getting some pictures with our first 321 Neo. Big ass engines. So check this out, guys. Y'all ever seen this kind of radio panel? It's like a digital radio panel, and then the audio control panel is built into it. It's pretty cool, pretty cool. Visited the LSU Tiger once with some Clemson fans. So you went to LSU? If so, did you have a good time? I get a kick out of some water spouts that happened during clear skies. Yeah, that is a good point. So at least like with the supercell, it's like, okay, tornado might drop. But with those, it's like no warning. It's a good point. Check this company message here. NKS Ops, 26-minute delay. Cool. AOC menu. Basic delay. OTH. Send that off. Shut them up. Sorry guys, I mean to hit my mic. Nicola, hey bro, how's it going? Dude, it's going good. I mean, I should be asleep. It's 5:30 in the morning, but I'm not. So I'm here hanging out with y'all guys, teaching some takeoff alternate, when a takeoff alternate is required, and the criteria for choosing a takeoff alternate. But you have to go all the way to the beginning to watch that shit. Crab legs, dude, I'm telling you, man. That platter that was in that picture, they did not tell me how much that shit cost. I would not have got it. I can't remember what it was, like 120 bucks or some shit. It was a fucking expensive ass platter. It was good though. It wasn't worth the money, but it was good. Visited with Clemson fans, Gamecock for life. Hey dude, SEC, that's all I care about. I have nothing against South Carolina. Clemson, you know, they can kind of suck dick. Mainly because, you know, back in sunshine days, when I say sunshine, I mean the quarterback that they used to have, he plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars now. We beat Clemson in 2019 in the national championship. Again, go Tigers. But hope you had fun though. LSU, man, like the environment, the atmosphere, it's crazy. Good ass time. How are you involved in the airline industry? Are you a mechanic or something? I am manager of flight dispatch at my airline. So I oversee all the flight dispatchers. And if you don't know what a flight dispatcher is, we're the coach and the captain is the quarterback. I'll put it that way. So we kind of drop the game plan and figure out the altitude, the route, fuel load, you know, make sure that like all legalities are taken care of. You know, we're ensuring the safety of flight, checking NOTAMs, checking weather, all those things, right? If you have a mechanical issue, we assist with mechanical emergencies. If we have medical emergencies, we're helping out with that as well. If they can't get into the destination for whatever reason, like you know, you got fog or thunderstorms or something of that nature, we will run burns and let the pilots know how long they can hold, when they need to bug out, where are they going to divert to if they can't get in, stuff like that. So we're kind of like pilots in the sky, or pilots on the ground, as some call us. I wouldn't go that far to say that, but that's what some people say. Alright, let's refresh the weather in... Damn it, man. Of course it's going to be fucking borderline VFR when we get there. I don't think really any little changes we need to make in the McDo. Let's see. Perf. Next. Alright, so we got 3014 on the altimeter now. Temperature 7. Winds still calm. So right now, current weather, winds calm, 8 statute miles on runway 15 right. RVR is 4,500, bearing to 6,000. Shallow fog and few at 200. Broken 25,000. Temperature 7, dew point 6. Altimeter 3014. On the ATIS, rivals expect ILS runway 33 left, 33 right. Really? I guess because the fog cleared out, they switched up the runways. Let's see. Did my live traffic ever work? Yeah. Alright, well I guess we'll... So let's do this. Let's, at JO. do a hold. Compute. And I want to do 11,000. I'm just trying to load something. Watch it crash the desktop. Make me nervous. Three left. Oof. I am going to get a little bit lower though. We'll go down to 6,000. So while the airplane's holding, yeah, I guess we'll go manage speed for hold speed. Let's rearrange ourselves. So there, we'll want 3-3 left. Baltimore approach. Alright, let's do 3 left. We'll go with a Cat 1, and if we go missed, we'll come back and do the Cat 2 SA special authorization. Left. Via Jans. We're going to do a lap, and then we'll go direct. Raven and Jans. Is this star even compatible? This star is not compatible with these runways. Anthem. Mighty. Nope. Trish. Nope. Oh yeah, it is. No, it's compatible. It just breaks off at Raven. I don't want heading, 'cause needed to like retake fuck it, we'll just rig it. So Raven, we need to be at 6,000 in there, 1,500 feet per minute. We should be good. Immediate exit. Come out of it. And then we're gonna go direct. The behind the scenes is awesomeness. Wow, I'm glad you like it, dude. Glad you like it. The whole East Coast is foggy bottom. Yes, it is. And you'd be surprised, especially this time of year, how often that happens and how hard it is to fly, to find alternates and takeoff alternates and stuff like that. I remember one time I was dispatching. Shit, what was the city pair? I can't remember. Something, I want to say something like San Juan to Fort Lauderdale, and the entire eastern half of the United States was fogged in. I'm gonna try to like illustrate this. So yeah, so basically, kind of how you're seeing it right now, right? Like all this pink, all that's fog for the most part. Fog, mist, whatever. That stuff extended all the way down the west coast of Florida through Fort Myers, Orlando, all the way down until West Palm Beach, Lauderdale, Miami. Those are the 3 and only airports that were legal. So my destination is Fort Lauderdale, and the dilemma that I had was, do I put Miami as an alternate and hope that 40 miles of coastline remains VFR when the entire state, yet the entire eastern half of the United States, was fog? Or do I go more conservative and go to my next legal alternate, not go, but plan it, and the next legal alternate, the next closest legal alternate for Fort Lauderdale, Florida, was Charlotte. And obviously as dispatchers, one of the biggest responsibilities that we have is to plan the flights as efficiently as possible, and that's a lot of extra gas. And so I was beating myself up for a little while about it, because like I didn't really think that we'd have any issues in Lauderdale. Usually South Florida escapes fog, usually, although when it happens, it happens fast, it's not forecasted, and it sits for a long time. So I ended up playing in Charlotte, which is fucking nuts. Let's see if we clear this out. KFLL to KCLT, 549 nautical miles in a straight line. That's a lot of extra gas. We should probably brief approach, shouldn't we? Alright guys, let's pull up RadNav. Okay, so we are planning the ILS runway 33 left, chart 11-5, effective 2nd September 2022. Frequency is 111.7 with a final approach course of 335. We'll intercept the glide slope at Grafe, 1,500 feet. Our decision height's 200 feet off the ground. Touchdown zone elevation is 143. MSA, minimum safe altitude in the Baltimore VOR area from the direction we're coming from is 2,200 feet. Transition altitude's 18,000 feet. If we go missed, we'll climb to 600, climb and left turn to 2,600. On heading 280 on the outbound to Baltimore VOR radial 294 to dated DME 14.9 off Baltimore VOR and hold or as directed by ATC. Standard 3-degree glide slope, miles for lighting, Papillon on the left. Minimums for this approach, 200-foot ceilings, half-mile visibility. Current weather in Baltimore, calm winds, 8 statute miles, shallow fog, few at 200 feet, and the rest is Gucci. For runway 33 left, we have let's see, distracting lights, golf, driving range, right side, extended center line from approach end of the runway to a 1/4 mile. Okay, good to know. High intensity runway lights, center line lights, Mouser lighting, touching zone lights, PAPI on the left, 30-degree glide path on the PAPI, runways grooved, RVRs reporting, and 8,030 feet from the glide slopes, 150 feet wide. When we land, it's going to be a right-hand turnoff. We'll turn off at hotel, and we'll just go find this random gate and park there. ISMI and ILS, so ILS push buttons are armed. Auto brake level low. That's going to be flaps full and full reverse thrust, right seat landing. Any questions? Throw it in the chat. Now I want to go direct to Jan's. Alright. I'm also going to go change, we need to put in our new minimums because we changed the runway, 200 feet. Hopefully got the seatbelt sign on. Alrighty, approach checklist, briefings complete, approach stable by 1,000 feet off the ground, ECAM status is checked, seatbelt signs are on, minimums 200 set on the radio altimeter, and our minimums, or our altimeters rather, is 3014. Approach checklist is complete. Wow, sounds like an amazing job for a flight sim enthusiast, 100%, and I say this all the time. If it wasn't for flight sim, I would not be where I'm at in my career. Being able to do this allows me to contextualize problems that my pilots will face in the cockpit or do face, and it just gives me a little bit more into their perspective, better understanding of the airplane, of its capabilities, you know, workload, task saturation, all that kind of stuff. And then also as a dispatcher, we get to ride in the cockpit, so obviously that's really good for learning this stuff and being able to bring what I see in the jump seat to the sim, and then what I learn I can bring it to y'all and share it with y'all. That Microsoft Flight Sim shake, yeah, that's that FS Realistic. So I have a question on flight tickets. When it has the flight times, is that block time or just the air time? Does it vary airline to airline? That is block, and it's padded. It's almost always padded, so it's going to be a little bit longer than what they actually anticipate, and that's just to give a little bit of buffer for an on-time arrival. But the more that times are padded, basically means overall the less that airplane is flying, which means when planes aren't flying, airlines aren't making money. So it's like it benefits the airline but hurts them at the same time to pad the block times. And then when it's airline to airline, each airline will determine how much they want to pad the blocks. So that's a really good question. I love the way you properly brief the arrival. Not many flight sim content creators do this. I try, man. I try to make it as realistic as possible, and I do it over and over again. Oh, we need to redo our center line. Flaps 1, speed checks. Flaps 1. Standby. Hacksack. So the flight plan. Jans. Fix info. KBW. 3 left. Radius. And then hacksack. That I want 155. There we go. Okay. Ah, motherfucker. Alright, we're gonna do this shit by hand. high on the glide slope. I'm gonna try to save it. See, that's what happens when you get behind the airplane. You get task saturated, you miss shit, and then things start happening. Kill those lights, they're super bright in my eyes. Can we save it? Kind of thinking we might have to go around. Flaps 3, speed checks, flaps 3. But yeah, the Airbus is my specialty. I am on the World Flight Cali crew team, and we fly the 7.3. So I'm also pretty well versed in the 7.3 just because I've done the real life Delta flight training. Oh yeah, there's no way. We're going to do a tactical approach like a C-17. Yes, I'm relatively decent in the 7.3, but the 320 or the Airbus is that's my forte. I got a lot of jump seat time. So we need to be stable by 1,000 feet. So we have to be established on the ILS by 1,000 feet AGL, otherwise we go around. Landing checklist, cabin crews advised, auto thrust speed, auto brakes, low, equipment landing on green, landing checklist is complete. Oh, glide slope's coming up. Crosswind from the left at 25 knots, so we're fighting. Glide slope low. 1,000. We are stable. Ooh, what you know about that? We never should have gotten in that position in the first place, but we saved it. 10 knots from the left. My landings have been shit lately. Don't expect much. Now we got a left quartering tailwind.
400.
Now it's back to a crosswind. Now it's back to a quartering tailwind. Wind's moving.
Hundred above.
We are visual.
Minimum.
Continue.
100.
Light slope.
40. 30. 20. Retard. 5.
First greens. Spoilers. I can see them. Decel. Yep, there we go. 70 knots. First idle. Make this turn off. Man, we got way behind the airplane on that one. That runway change is what got me. Alright, let's clean it up. Radar and predicted wind shear off. Auto TA. And then we can stow all that stuff. Alright, after landing, exterior lights are set, flaps, retracted TCAS to transponder, engine mode selector is normal, ground spoilers disarmed, and radar frequency is off. Got 60 more seconds on the engine cooldown. I don't know why I don't have one of my traffic apps died. That's probably why I don't have any traffic. Gate C4. Is Spirit parked there? I don't know. But it will work. Let's see what that landing rate was while we're sitting here waiting on the engine cooldown. Negative 138. Definitely better than what I've been doing lately. Got our weird little wonky ass. See that steep ass drop? Alright, all those airplanes started popping up. Alright, we've got our 3-minute engine cool down. So I'm going to go to the overhead yellow electric pump. Come on. We can shut down engine 2. Now if we could just make them dance, monkey, I'd be super happy. ain't dancing now. Brake set. Can let them up. And shut it down. Oh, he did it. Everybody tell Shaq. Y'all go tell Shaq. That's like 3 times in a week and a half. Bro. Stupid click spots. Alright, we have made it. And I hope y'all learned something. Again, the main topic of this this stream was when you need a takeoff alternate and the criteria of what you need for a takeoff alternate, to use a takeoff alternate, all that kind of stuff. So if you're late and you didn't get to see that and you are interested in that, please go to the beginning of the stream, and we cover a very in-depth seminar on takeoff alternates, because pretty much nobody really talks about them on flight sim. Yeah. Cue the track. Hopefully you recorded it. I did not. That would so be me as a marshaller. Dude, whenever dude, Drew, what's going on, man? Great to see you, dude. Wow. And fucking AJJ's in the house too. Fuck, man. Sorry guys, I was clearly busy sucking at flying an airplane and getting behind the airplane. Very great to see y'all. Thank y'all so much for coming. So sorry that I'm just now seeing y'all in the chat. Damn, you're still up. Been at work almost 3 hours. Yeah, I think we started at like 3:30, something like that. Guys, great to see y'all. Yeah, when I was a ramper for Delta, which I was also like just got out of the Air Force and stuff too. So I was doing a lot of like salutes whenever we'd push the plane out. We'd disconnect the tow bar and pull the shit back. I'd always have to like do facing movements and shit. Yeah, the ramp is a good time. And that's how I started my aviation career. And if any of y'all are ever interested in aviation and don't know where to start, do that. Go be a ramper and then turn it into something bigger. But anyways, guys, that is going to be it for this morning. It's only 6 a.m. Gonna rewind and catch the seminar after the stream is over. Good, dude. I think you'll enjoy it. It was pretty good. We deep dove that shit. But I hope y'all have a great rest of your morning. Have a great Saturday. Do lots of fun shit today. If you're not working, have some drinks, have a good time. Get some flights in. And don't forget, if you are departing, I can't have that. If you are departing a foggy airport and the current weather conditions are lower than the plated minimums or the charted minimums for the approaches into that airport, you require a takeoff alternate. And your takeoff alternate must be within 60 minutes. 60 minutes on one engine in still air. But guys, see, I should be going to the gym, but I don't. This is my gym. That's why I'm getting fat. But guys, thank y'all so much for hanging out on this very, very wrong side red eye. And I really enjoyed this one. I feel like now that I got this iPad going and sharing the iPad and be able to mark on it and stuff, I think we're getting even more and more realistic, and be able to teach more and more. Let's see what our poll was showing at the end. Overhead showing all flight controls. That's kind of what I figured it would be. 43%. I'm gonna put that out in a community post too, though. Guys, have a great day, and probably won't be streaming again for the next 4 or 5 days. But until then, as always, be good at it, keep it on the wrong side, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.